Loma Linda, California, where the suburbs and the desert meet and rattlesnakes and people collide. Here, Sean Bush leads a dedicated team of doctors fighting an escalating battle against a potent, destructive substance. It's a substance science barely understands, a substance with the power to seek out weakness in its quest to kill. A battle is being waged between venom and anti-venom here on the front line, home of the VenomER. The San Bernardino National Forest covers the hills above Loma Linda, but it's pockmarked with dead trees, fuel for wildfires. They've become a deadly part of the summer calendar, roaring through both human settlements and snake country. State law mandates that residents clear brush from their property each year to reduce the fire hazard. But here, that can bring its own danger, because the wooded hillsides north of Loma Linda are rattlesnake territory.
Oh, hi, Mike. This is Ben over Loma Linda. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have any information?
Jeremy Zine was bitten while clearing the bushes on his uncle's land. Rushed to a local hospital, he's had complications, and 3 hours later, he's being transferred to Loma Linda.
The first finger. It looks like the arm is progressively swollen up to where now I would say it's mid-bicep.
Hey, Ben, what I want you to tell him the most is to package the patient and send him as soon as possible. The longer they wait, I mean, the more damage control I'm going to be doing.
Time is tissue. In every second that passes, more will be destroyed. Jeremy's arm will be in a bad way by the time Sean can start his treatment.
At this point here, they'll be approaching, evening traffic.
And that can be completely gridlocked. Finally, Jeremy arrives in the ER. He's already had 4 vials of Crofab anti-venom, but it's 5 hours since the bite. The VenomER team swings into action. The damage to Jeremy's left arm is the first priority.
So where did this guy get you?
Right here.
All right. Very sore, swollen up here into your arm there?
Yeah, sore way up in here.
So hurt into your chest wall too? Sorry, okay. Did it seem to stop when they gave you the anti-venom?
Yeah, it was swollen way up into here, and then after, an hour after the anti-venom came through,
yeah,
it did improve a lot, and it was going down a lot, yeah.
Does it seem like it's progressing again?
Yeah, a little bit. To be honest, the tingles are kind of coming back.
Okay.
The tingling sensation is caused by neurotoxins in the venom.
I think he's gonna need some more anti-venom, it sounds like, but let me just get a little more.
But Jeremy also has a lot of swelling and pain.
Does it hurt here?
No.
Tell me when it starts to hurt. Right here?
A little more. Just start to feel it, and then now it's hurting.
Right about here. Well, hang on one second. How about on this side?
He's a fit young man, but this hurts.
Right there. The whole inside, the whole back of it, man.
All the way up into here?
Yeah, all the way up into my armpit.
Okay.
Jeremy was bitten in the hills near Claremont, just 30 miles west of the hospital. These canyons have plenty of prey for rattlesnakes. They are perfectly camouflaged in the bush. The bite was a painful shock, and Jeremy was working alone. But he managed to call out for help, and a neighbor phoned an ambulance. Within 20 minutes, it had found the address in the hills. By then, the venom was causing intense pain in the finger, and his face was numb. He was rushed to the nearest hospital, where anti-venom treatment started. It wasn't enough, and he was passed on to the VenomER at Loma Linda. 5.5 hours later, Sean can track the progress of the local swelling, and the venom is making its presence known in other ways.
He's got a fasciculation there, you can kind of see. Hold your arm real still. Yeah, that's the snake venom at work. It's causing your muscles to twitch right in there. See how his fingers are twitching like that? All of his fingers are twitching. That's a fasciculation. Is this getting worse?
Oh yeah, it's coming back. Came back on the way down here.
So it kind of went away with the anti-venom, and now it's coming back.
Jeremy can't control the twitching. Inside his body, there's a battle between venom and anti-venom. Right now, the venom's winning.
I think we need to mix up another 6 vials. We're gonna give you another 6. We're gonna give you some more anti-venom, okay? We're gonna be watching you here for a long time. You got a lot of twitching in your arm there.
This venom has many effects. Neurotoxins are hitting his nerves, causing tingling and twitching. And enzymes are digesting his arm tissue, causing swelling from fingertip to chest wall. A second course of anti-venom will take him to 10 vials, and Sean is still missing a crucial bit of information to help frame the treatment.
That's where one thing.
There's no positive ID of the snake that bit Jeremy.
Right there. From the area and the symptoms he's having, I think it's probably a Southern Pacific, but I'd like to know when I can, just because it helps me know how effective my antivenom is going to be.
Sean is a snake expert, and sharing his knowledge will strengthen the VenomER team. But without the snake, it's not easy.
Snake sandy colored, no horns, diamond pattern. Did it have rings around its tail?
I didn't notice.
Didn't notice?
I think I might have.
Sean's worked on snake identification with Dr. Rob Steele.
Did you notice his arm? He's twitching up here.
He's getting neuropathic symptoms.
Yeah. So what do you think?
You know, from what you were telling me earlier, it's the Mojave that has the classic neuro with the taste in the mouth and real true neuropathic stuff.
But this happened too far south of Mojave's range.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if the red diamond, if that has neuropathic stuff. I just don't remember.
Usually not.
Okay.
So I think the leading contender is Southern Pacific. And remember, the color is the least reliable factor. All these snakes, patients always say, yeah, it was a brown snake, it was a gray snake. They're not real good about telling about the color.
To most people, a snake is a snake. But there are 6 different species in the team's area. The one renowned for its neurotoxic effects is the Mojave, but that only lives in the high desert, far north of Claremont. But the team's work is revealing neurotoxic effects from the Southern Pacific, a snake that lives in the hills nearby. It's the snake that most concerns Sean Bush. As night falls, veterinarian Debbie Viest is also dealing with a snakebite. It's the 8th case she's seen this season.
The person would get bit in the foot or the hand possibly, but in a dog they're more common to get bit in the muzzle. In a large snake we'll see the puncture wounds and the dried blood from the puncture wounds. Obvious puncture wounds.
What's out of the ordinary is that this dog, Max, is the family pet of the team's expert on rattlesnake biology, Professor Bill Hayes.
Take a closer look. I'm not seeing any obvious puncture wounds. She seems real painful inside this right lip where the swelling is most prevalent. Did you see? Don't know.
We didn't realize it had been.
Was it a baby? Was it a little baby snake? Oh, that's probably why we don't always find the puncture wounds real obvious when the babies bite.
Earlier in the afternoon, the Hayes family had taken a walk in the hills south of Loma Linda. Max picked up a trail, and that took him right up to the snake. For Max, this is an interesting animal. For the snake, this is a threat from a huge predator. Like the ER, the veterinary hospital carries a stock of rattlesnake anti-venom, and like earlier forms for human use, it's produced using horse serum.
So we need to know if you do indeed want her to be treated with antivenom.
If you think it needs it, yes.
Well, that's always the recommendation.
Pat and Bill decide to go with the anti-venom, and the treatment is prepared.
How much does it weigh? Is it a heavy cat?
In order to prevent the possibility of an allergic reaction, the first step is an allergy test on Max's skin. That will show it's safe to administer the whole dose. If he reacts within 10 minutes, they won't treat him with anti-venom. With snakebite victims in both the animal hospital and ER, there are crucial decisions coming up on VenomER. Max has been bitten by a Southern Pacific rattlesnake, but after a skin test, his anti-venom treatment can go ahead.
Looks okay. Yeah, looks good. She doesn't have much of a reaction there.
Want it given through syringe?
Well, right now he's receiving his anti-venom. He's receiving it over a 2-hour period, so we're monitoring to see if he has any further reaction to the anti-venom. He didn't have any on the initial skin reaction test, but they can still have a reaction once it starts actually going in IV, and so we monitor that very closely.
Pat and Bill are allowed to come back and see Max, but this member of their family won't be going home with them tonight. While the anti-venom drip goes in overnight, Max must stay in the animal hospital. In the Loma Linda emergency room, Jeremy Zine's treatment is also well underway.
Crofed's hanging at 6 vials and 250 cc's over an hour.
6 more vials take his total to 10, but his arm is still very swollen.
Be careful to refill up here so the finger is not at jeopardy right now.
With serious bites, the venom may damage the muscle compartment so severely that surgery is the only option. It's something Dr. Bush would like to avoid.
These compartments are all soft. We're not going to be opening those today. But I can definitely see that line cut off right there with the swelling. 1630. We got the anti-venom going, and he seems to be feeling a lot better, and I think it's stopping the progression.
Jeremy's family has arrived, his mom and girlfriend. She's brought some absolute essentials.
I brought his razor, toothbrush, his hair gel, his comb. He doesn't like to be, he doesn't like to be in public without his hair gel, so.
But the battle continues inside his body.
Lab's normal, systemic is improving, and local we're trying to get on top of that.
Jeremy's arm is still causing concern for the team.
Gloves, please. Bring me some gloves, Trina. Oh, he's just up here?
Yeah, it feels more swollen, it's more tense.
It's gone past, we're still got the infusion going in. It's gone past my line. And now he's tender into his lymph nodes.
He's tender in his axilla.
I think it's going to progress. And this infusion's going in, so right now we're doing everything we can to stop the progression. Okay. And when that finishes, let's mark it then.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
The anti-venom infusion will take hours to combat the venom in Jeremy's body. It's going to be a long night. Next morning, Brandy Percival is on duty.
I'm going to get your vital signs, and I'm going to check, because I know they just started your CroFab for the last dose. Okay, you can just...
Jeremy's getting another 2 vials, bringing him to a total of 16. His daughter's also here.
Well, I'm glad to say you're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'll go get Dr. Bush for you and have him come and check you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good, good. Wow, you still got quite a lot of swelling in your arm there, huh? Big time swollen. All right.
Very sore.
All right. Hurts in your, you got a little bruising up in here, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put it back down. The thing I was worried about yesterday was this finger, and I was worried that it was kind of tight, but it's not tight anymore. So I think he's gonna get to keep all this tissue. Can you extend against my finger?
Yeah,
it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
But you've got strength there. Yeah. So good. I think that probably it's gonna be okay for you to go home. I don't think we're going to do anything else for you. But what I'm going to do is give you some instructions to follow. And I'd like to
Jeremy will have been in the ER for 24 hours and has received 16 vials of Crofab, 4 more than most patients need. It's been one of the more challenging cases so far this season. After the concerns of yesterday, this is the good news that Jeremy's family wanted. A week later, Bill and Pat Hayes' dog Max has also made a full recovery.
He had a few days where he was still swollen, having a little difficulty eating, but he's great today, back to his normal self.
Bill's interest turns to the snake that bit Max. It's now become part of his studies.
This particular snake is going to give us a venom sample and a blood sample because we want to learn whether or not it has neurotoxin present.
Bill and Sean's groundbreaking work is revealing neurotoxicity in southern Pacific rattlesnakes and challenging the idea that only Mojave rattlesnake venom has this power. There's more on Southern California's deadliest snakes when VenomER returns on Animal Planet. The Mojave Rattlesnake. Its venom is renowned for neurotoxicity. Living in the high desert, Mojaves have been closely studied for 10 years by another member of the team, Mike Cardwell. His study group of 14 snakes has been collected from the wild and implanted with radio transmitters so he can track their movements and learn more about their behavior. This one was collected 2 days ago. Now it's in the VenomER for an X-ray that will be a final check that the transmitter is in the right place. It's a tense procedure for Sean and Mike.
Hold still, snake.
I mean, just exposed.
If it looks all right, then this snake can be released back into the wild.
Well, the transmitter looks awfully large, doesn't it? I mean, it's within the 5% of the body mass parameter, but still it looks surprisingly large in the picture. And it looks like something in the acrylic paint in the rattle is opaque to the X-ray as well. We can see the antenna laying under the skin there, sure not straight.
The antenna and transmitter will enable Mike to track the specimen in the wild. As the desert cools in the evening, it's time to take the snake back.
Well, we're just about where we picked this guy up. The temperature's about right, so let's set him free. Come here, big fella. This is about the time of day that they start to be active anyway. Yeah, we know that the telemetry works. We checked the transmitter just before we left to come out here and turn him loose. So we're gonna let him crawl off now, find a place where he's comfortable, and he can get unstressed from being captured. And we'll come back and find him and figure out what he's doing. He's just sniffing around and orienting himself now. Hopefully he's figuring out that this is where he came from a couple of days ago.
Popular myth would have us believe that this is not only the most toxic, but also one of the most aggressive snakes in America. Mike Cardwell's years of experience suggests otherwise.
This isn't something that I would do intentionally, but it happens every now and then. These snakes, especially in hot weather like this, will crawl to whatever shade is available. You know, they only strike for 2 reasons. Either to feed themselves, and I certainly am way too big for him to think he can eat, or in defense. And the defensive strikes are primarily keyed by movement. So as long as I don't move my feet or my knee, he's not motivated to defend himself. And to get out of this, rather than moving my foot or my knee, which might provoke a defensive strike, I'll just take the hook and hook him away from me, so I don't give him a target besides the moving hook to strike at. And now I can safely stand up and be away from him. So good luck, fella.
Mike has the ultimate respect for the snake. His only protection is a deep knowledge of the Mojave rattlesnake's behavior. It's a very special understanding. Far from this desert habitat, there's a unique colony of Mojaves whose venom will save rather than threaten human lives. In Salt Lake City, Utah, 600 miles to the north, the Protheryx Research Lab collects the venoms used to make the CroFab anti-venom. Here is the world's largest colony of captive Mojave rattlesnakes. It makes this facility one of the most venomous places in America. Serpent expert Robert Larson has 30 years of experience with snakes, so he's ideal for a task that would terrify most people: milking rattlesnake venom for anti-venom production. To do that, he needs to keep more than 350 Mojave rattlesnakes in peak health, checking each and every one of them daily.
It is difficult to keep a colony of snakes this size. It takes a lot of time to keep them clean, watered, fed. There's always something to be done.
Feeding captive reptiles is an art. Stimulating the rattlesnake to strike at its prey helps trigger natural feeding behavior. Like Mike Cardwell, it's knowledge and understanding that keeps Robert safe in a potentially deadly environment. With America's most neurotoxic snakes, he's constantly on his guard.
Some of the specimens that we have are very aggressive animals. Some could really, apparently care less as to what's going on. Unfortunately, they're in the minority.
Anti-venom production requires a lot of venom. The snakes in the colony have been selected for their high level of neurotoxicity to guarantee a supply of very special venom. These snakes can save the lives of people bitten by wild Mojaves. Their venom is combined with venoms collected by approved field agents from cottonmouths, eastern diamondback, and western diamondback rattlesnakes. The aim is to make a broadband antivenom to treat bites across North America. To be effective against this range of bites, the 4 venoms used to make CroFab must contain key toxins and enzymes. It's Professor Richard Strait, venom expert and director of the Protheryx Laboratory, who checks that the necessary toxins are present in each batch of freeze-dried venom. A complex analysis provides him with a detailed picture of each venom sample.
These are chromatographic fingerprints of the 4 venoms that are used for CroFab.
To be certified for use in production, for use in the ER, every venom sample must contain the key enzymes or toxins. The western diamondback venom must contain the right amount of 2 components called proteases. They digest tissue around the bite site. In the ER, they cause swelling and blood blisters. Mojave venom must be type A, with high levels of the Mojave neurotoxin, which affects the nervous system. Its symptoms include a loss of muscle control in the face, nausea, and breathing difficulty. Between them, the 4 venoms used in CroFab were selected to cover all the known toxins found in North America's rattlesnakes and other pit vipers. But the VenomER team are discovering that it is slightly less effective against some southern Pacific bites. Feedback from the VenomER is vital to the advancement of anti-venom production. And right now, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Air Division is heading in with the next challenge, an 18-year-old male. They retrieved Jason from a forestry station northwest of Loma Linda and got him to the ER in under 30 minutes, saving vital minutes of tissue damage. Even so, his foot is already bruised and swollen. Brandy Percival is the ER's charge nurse today. Her team is already preparing the crofab. The first task for Sean is to define the area of tissue damage.
I think this is where the swelling is right there. It definitely looks like it's round.
Right now, the team doesn't know what type of snake bit Jason, but there's a clue in the location. Get the full story when VenomER returns on Animal Planets. Jason is the VenomER team's latest patient. He's just been flown in, and they're working to stop the venom progression. Just 1 hour earlier, he'd been with his family at Lytle Creek, just 20 miles from the hospital. In the cool of the hills, it's a popular picnic spot and home to southern Pacific rattlesnakes. Young snakes are small, and in dappled light, they're perfectly camouflaged. He was just too close to this one. Jason had no idea what kind of snake bit him. A fast response is vital. Sean Bush knows that Lytle Creek is southern Pacific territory, and Jason has both swelling and neurotoxic symptoms.
So you get tingling in your hands and in your mouth. And you just have a little swelling in that foot there.
The first dose of anti-venom goes in, and Jason starts to improve.
Yeah, maybe that one.
I've already given him 4 vials of crofab. The progression seems to have stopped. His labs look good, and I think he's going to do fine.
After 10 vials of anti-venom, Jason was okay to go home. By mid-snakebite season, Loma Linda has already used over 300 vials of crofab, far more than this time last year. To keep up with demand, the lab in Salt Lake City must process industrial quantities of venom. Snake expert Robert Larson is preparing for the most dangerous part of his job. In the next 3 hours, he'll have 40 encounters with live Mojave rattlesnakes. The team milks rattlesnakes up to 5 days every week. It can only be done by handling the snakes and exposing their fangs. One false move will cause a medical emergency. Robert's methods are steeped in years of knowledge of the snakes.
Slow, gentle movements so as not to alarm the animal. And so far, he's behaving, but that could change at any moment. It all depends on how he's going to respond once I put the tongs around his neck.
All the snakes are unpredictable. They're selected for toxic venom. This is a very intense procedure that starts with weighing each snake. It takes absolute concentration. Robert's expertise and experience allow him to safely grip the snake behind the head and keep it calm and steady by supporting its body under his arm. And even more caring is his milking technique.
First of all, I'll gently pry the animal's mouth open, exposing the fangs, and then I drape them over the edge of the test tube. I push back the fang sheath, and then gently starting at the back side of the gland, I will express the venom, working forwards. Oh yes, that's a good amount. And then I'll stop, let the gland recharge.
That takes just 8 seconds.
And then press again. And as you can see, second time around, I was almost able to get a similar amount.
The snake's venom delivery system is extraordinary, and milking is a highly efficient production line. All these snakes are highly neurotoxic, but some also have a difficult temperament.
He's not behaving. I suggest you stand back.
And some give more venom than others.
Normally, as a rule of thumb, the larger the specimen, the greater the volume of venom.
An exceptionally large animal is able to produce a little over a ½ mil of venom.
817 grams.
At 1.5 pounds, that's one big Mojave. So big that its fang spread is too wide to fit in a single vial.
Oh, excellent clear venom. That was a good amount of venom for one specimen. The venom that animal just expelled was close to 2/3 of a mil.
Today's 40 Mojaves produced more than 1/3 of a fluid ounce of venom, destined to create the vital anti-venom for Sean's team. In Southern California, the snakebite season is taking off when VenomER returns. In the middle of the snakebite season, the team is ready for long days of action. Sean is on duty from 9 a.m. Little more than 1 hour later, he's dealing with his first snakebite. Jason has come back for a checkup 3 days after he was discharged. His treatment is complete, but his leg looks worse.
The whole leg is just bruised up.
Despite the lurid bruising, Jason is making a good recovery. He got to the hospital quickly, so the crofab neutralized the venom in his body before the damage was too great.
But you can't really see that one anymore, can you?
Jason gets the all clear from Dr. Bush.
I'll get those labs going and then...
As well as the snake bites, Sean and his team have a huge workload of traffic accidents, heart attacks, and acute illness. SecTech Cynthia Moore has been here since 7 a.m. manning the phones. Her latest call is from a desert hospital who want to transfer a female snakebite patient. 3:31, and after a 1 hour, 40-minute journey by ambulance, Twyla Bennett rolls into the Loma Linda ER. She's had anti-venom treatment in the first hospital, but is still in a lot of pain. The team have established that Twyla suffers from high blood pressure. Sean is anxious to know more. Twyla lives deep in the desert. At 8 this morning, she returned home from an overnight stay. In her haste to check her dogs, Twyla didn't spot the snake warming its body in the sun. Early morning is a time when both people and snakes are active. She phoned for help, but then faced a long wait alone and in pain, for an ambulance to come.
You have to go around. You gotta go around.
Lower the gurney. 1, 2, 3.
An hour after the bite, she was in the ambulance, but even her local hospital was miles away. In the ER, Sean still needs a positive ID on the snake.
Now did you see the snake?
Yes.
What did it look like?
There are Mojaves in the area where Twyla lives. Sean needs to know what he's dealing with.
It had a rattle, but it was a small rattle, brown with black to gray markings.
Brown. That's kind of like a speckled rattlesnake, a little bit. You say it was about, what, 2?
Speckled rattlesnakes live with Mojaves and sidewinders in the high Mojave Desert. Their venom contains tissue-digesting enzymes, so it's swelling that concerns Sean.
Can you push down? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now let me just march out. How far?
The delays in Twyla's treatment have allowed the swelling to advance to just below the knee. Sean expects it to go further, so he's going to give her 6 vials of Crofab.
We're at 26. Yeah, because we have to do the fiber product, so we can get...
Together, the team mix the very precious treatment with great care.
Cynthia, did you drop a vial one time?
No, it wasn't me. Actually, I was standing in the corner. They're a lot of money, you know that, right? They're a lot of money. So, we mix them now over tables. We learned our lesson. Yeah.
With Twyla's treatment underway, Cynthia's next call is another alert. Now there's a case coming in from San Bernardino. Meanwhile, Sean's monitoring the progression of the swelling up Twyla's leg.
And now you're feeling some pain in your groin,
Right, yeah.
That's why we're giving you more, because I want to see if we can stop that.
As well as treating Twyla, he wants to know more about her bite.
Now, were you wearing shoes or were you just on bare feet?
I was wearing shoes.
So it bit you through your shoes?
No, my shoes were low.
Were you wearing a sock?
No.
No, so it didn't penetrate clothing.
I felt it, something like swipe my pants leg. So, and I really didn't look down then until I felt it tug back like a fish tugs on a fishing line.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's not right. And I looked down, and by that time it was trying to pull away, but it wouldn't letting me go. And that's when I kind of slung it off me.
All right.
And then ran a few distance, and then that's when I panicked. You know, I'm like, a snake just bit me. A snake just bit me, and I just started screaming. And the snake's still in a striking position, and it's looking at me like, okay, are you gonna kill me? Or are you gonna run and panic? And I said, well, I'm going to run and panic.
The bite has caused tissue damage right up Twyla's leg. Even now, it's clear she's going to spend the night in the ER. At 10 minutes after 5, there's news of the 3rd snakebite patient of the day. Betty Lester has come in from a nearby hospital. A neighbor brought her a dead snake to look at, and she snagged her thumb on a fang through the bag.
This is the offending animal, huh?
Yeah, his head's on there, so.
Be very, very careful with that.
Yeah, I didn't know the head was still on it when I grabbed the bag to move it.
That's a Southern Pacific rattlesnake. So you just put your hand in the bag.
No, I grabbed the bag,
Grabbed
and
the
it
bag.
was through the bag.
Well, let's see your thumb there. Have you got a
there.
puncture wound right
Yeah,
there?
right there's where it went in.
Does it hurt when I push? Anywhere up here?
No, it's just tender where it went in. I have kind of a metallic taste.
You have a metallic taste.
But they gave me some medicine, so it could be from that, I don't know.
Well, snakebite causes a metallic taste too.
Her current symptoms aren't serious enough for anti-venom treatment. There's too great a risk it will cause an allergic reaction.
When she told me, she said, oh, my goodness.
Anti-venom will only be given if the patient really needs it.
All right. Well, listen, I don't think I'm going to give you anti-venom right now, but I'm going to keep you in the ER probably overnight to watch you, okay? And,
Monitoring Betty for any new symptoms will be the best approach.
we got to watch you for at least 8 hours.
Betty and Twyla will both be spending a night in the ER.
All right, me get the nurse to get you to go.
It's been a long day for Dr. Bush, but at least he gets to go home now. Cynthia's on her 11th hour, and treatment continues for the snakebite victims. The morning will bring mixed news when VenomER returns on Animal Planet. At 9 a.m. the next morning, Sean's back on duty to check on his 2 snakebite patients.
But did you ever get any swelling in your finger here?
No, it's tender up in this area. Now I'm starting to feel it.
Right in the very tip, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Your labs look great. Did that metallic taste go out of your mouth?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Good.
Betty is going to go home, and she'll have a memento of her bizarre snakebite experience.
This is a little snakebite prevention flyer I give to kids, and it reminds them never to touch a rattlesnake, even if they think it's dead.
Now he can give Twyla his full attention. The swelling has continued up her leg.
Yeah, I predicted it would keep going up your leg here, didn't we? Vein function's right there. Oh, I'm sorry. Still quite tender, huh? How about up under here?
No.
Oh, okay. Starts to hurt right about here still, huh? And it still hurts down here. Quite tender. If it keeps progressing, I might keep you for one more dose.
Another dose of 2 vials will complete the treatment. Twyla will leave the hospital in the late afternoon. Rattlesnake venom can present a severe challenge to a human body. Prompt treatment will slow the venom damage, but it's hard to predict how long after a bite a person will suffer its effects.
After I got home, we went for our morning walk, and I couldn't make it to the end of the block. I started shaking like a leaf.
Twyla's recovery took even longer.
Really, for like a couple of weeks after, I had a lot of aching in it, like I had arthritis or something. But from time to time, when the weather is chilly, or if I'm under the cooler for too long, it'll start to aching.
The long-term effects of rattlesnake venom are largely a mystery. A year ago, Tina Sanderson was bitten by a Mojave rattlesnake while mowing the lawn of her garden in the desert town of Victorville.
It really didn't hurt that bad, kind of felt like a sting bite, kinda. And then after that had occurred, I went inside and called for help, and that's when the animal control guy got here, and it kind of escalated from there.
So let's have 2 units.
An hour after the bite, Tina was wheeled into the ER, with flight nurse Katrina Kish briefing Dr. Bush on the patient's condition.
This is her foot. Here's your fang marks. The redness hasn't increased at all, though.
Yeah.
And the bite was over an hour ago now.
Well, does she have any neurological things? You said no paresthesia?
No paresthesias at all, no dizziness, no nausea, no abnormal feelings of anything. So that's where we're at right now.
Burn on your face, nothing. Weird taste in your mouth.
Kind of cotton mouth.
You got cotton mouth. That's the only symptoms you were having, a little pain around the foot, and that's it, huh?
This is truly a front line. The width of a brick is all that separates desert and lawn, and a Mojave blends perfectly with the grass. Tina had no idea the little green snake was venomous and called animal control. Fortunately for her, Animal Control Officer Michael Cathcart quickly diagnosed the situation. He called the paramedics, and the air evacuation team swung into action. They were able to land near her house and made the 30-minute flight to Loma Linda in perfect conditions. Tina's delivery was a textbook procedure, and Mike Cathcart even provided the snake. It was a sad loss for snake expert Sean, but when dealing with America's most neurotoxic species, the emergency services won't take any chances.
It was a Mojave rattlesnake, and that's one of the deadliest snakes in the whole United States. And you just can't predict how bad it's going to get. That's why we get all these people involved. We've got animal control there, we've got ambulances there, we bring her in by helicopter. And it's important to do that because we want to make sure that we get her stabilized as soon as possible and we can get her anti-venom as soon as possible, which we did.
The anti-venom worked, and Tina was discharged later that day. But the story didn't end there. The bite has changed Tina.
I had a lot of side effects after. It probably lasted about a good year or so. My body would ache all the time. It kind of felt like I had the flu. And I had no immune system. It broke down my immune system, so therefore I had to take extra vitamins and stuff to build it back up. So it took probably about a good year for it to get out of my system, I think.
Venom is a potent adversary. Despite high-tech research and medical expertise, this golden liquid remains mysterious. Sean's options are limited. Bite cases come in fast, but each has a long-term impact. Crofab works well, but venom effects are impossible to predict. At least two things are for certain. A snake bite will change your life, but some venom can also help save it.